Welcome back to the epic devlogs of More Custom Night. Today we're on episode 2. If you have not yet seen episode 1, I suggest you do so you understand what's going on here. Before we start, I'll do a little recap of what we did in episode 1 for the people who forgot, and for the new people who chose not to watch episode 1. In the first episode, we made this scrollable character grid and a few menus. We also made this object manager and made the office with these two doors you can shine the flashlight down, a toggleable fan, and a toggleable wet floor sign. We finished the episode by making a working mask as well as a working monitor. Before we begin, I'm going to ask you to like, subscribe, and share the video so it does better in the algorithm and more people can see this. I know this didn't take 4 months like the last video, but it still took a lot of effort and it would be greatly appreciated. Starting with the camera system, I made this create location method in the object manager, which allows you to create your own custom cameras. With this, you can customize the camera's position, the text on the icon, and even the ability to place an audio lure at it. You may have seen this on my community page if you've been paying attention, but this is one of the earliest versions of this camera UI. And here's how it works. The game draws these little gray boxes with text at the X and Y positions you put in. Instead of redrawing the camera text with the green background instead of gray each time you select a new camera, which would be harder to code and probably cause a short lag spike, it instead draws the green background separately in between the gray background and text layers and teleports to the selected camera's position. And here's what that looks like. Ignore the giant number on the left of the screen, we'll get to that just in a moment. Now that we're nearly done with the cameras, we can finally begin on the UI. Using this method, you're able to create your own usage bar. And using that, I was able to create a functioning power system. And when you get to 0%, let's just say it's not very good. This system also allowed me to create a functioning temperature meter. You also may have noticed in the top left corner is a flashlight button next to a battery meter. This is the flashlight battery. For some reason in UCN, the flashlight took up the building power, however in this, the flashlight has its own independent battery, which can run out. I use the FNaF AR flashlight icons mainly because it looks a lot better than the UCN mobile flashlight icons, but also because I couldn't get a hold of ScrubDub to make his own. I added the stopwatch and the hour above it. This is how the game determines the hour lengths. First you put in the night length in milliseconds if it were to be from 12 to 6 AM. The last value, night length, is how many hours you want to survive. If you want to survive till 6, 7, or even 8 AM, you can. Later you should be able to customize these values in the cheats menu, but as of editing it hasn't been added yet. Currently there is no windscreen, so the timer just kind of goes on forever. The last thing I added was the audio lure. To use this, flip up the monitor and press this little cams button to toggle it to the audio. There's also a shock option, but currently it doesn't do anything. That'll be in the next episode. But by clicking on a camera with the audio mode on, it will place an audio lure at the cost of 1 power, and you can use it indefinitely. For some animatronics, it might influence their chances of going onto a certain camera, and for others, it might even repel them away from your office. And that's all I've added for today, though this is not the end of the video. I do get questions about this game often, so I guess this last part will be an FAQ. If you do have any questions, put them down in the comments below for a chance to have it answered in a future devlog. Will you include the ducts, vent systems, and reboot panel? The answer to that is yes. They should all come in future updates eventually. Will you be able to cam stall and office stall? For most characters, yes. Obviously for characters like Ballora where you have to react quickly, no, office stalling does not work on animatronics like her, but for most other characters, yes. Will you make a mobile port? That's a complicated question, but I'll try to get this onto a web page, so maybe mobile players could try it that way. I can't really make an iOS application due to the engine, though an APK on Android is still possible. Now it's time for the question you've all been waiting for, my most asked question. Will X character be in the game? The answer to these questions, except for some really specific ones, is yes, all of them will be in the game. In the vanilla game, all the characters from FNaF 1, 2, 3, 4, Ruin, all of them will be here, even some book characters and movie characters as well. And even for the characters you guys request that won't be making into the game, You can just make it yourself. The whole point of More Custom Night is that you're able to make your own custom animatronics using custom scripts. That is why I made the Faz Object Manager. You can add whatever you want. And that concludes episode 2 of the epic devlogs of More Custom Night. If you enjoyed this, then please like and subscribe and share, as it will boost the algorithm and hopefully more people will see this video. I'll probably take a break for a few days before beginning on episode 3, which is the AI interpreter, which will be very fun. Though he had no involvement with this episode and kind of disappeared when I needed him most, I still suggest you go check out ScrubDub's channel and his object show, Dipscoolip, if you're into that kind of thing. I played this guy right here, so I kind of feel like I have to shout that out. Also check out the progress on our show Supernova. I wish ScrubDub would mention it at least once. I think he's trying to forget it existed, but... One last note before the video ends, if you have a suggestion for a character mechanic, since there's kind of a lot of them, leave it down in the comments below. If your character mechanic does get in, you will get a shout out. If I get more subscribers than ScrubDub by the end of the year, I'll make a full FNaF timeline explained video. And hopefully, I will see you guys in not 4 months.